Excitement filled the air at Thornfield Concert Hall as Marcus Chun, 38 years old, put the finishing touches on the stage's gleaming brass fittings. Dressed in his olive green maintenance uniform with cleaning equipment in hand, he blended into the background practically unseen by the well-dressed guests who'd soon occupy the luxurious crimson seats for tonight's charity gala. For the past 2 years, Marcus had worked here as a custodian, a position that gave him something precious, the ability to collect his daughter Emma, age 6, from school each day and spend evenings at home with her. The paycheck covered their small apartment and Emma's essentials honest work, reliable work even if it bore little resemblance to the future he'd once envisioned. This particular evening marked Thornfield Foundation's yearly gala, a formal fundraiser drawing the city's most influential philanthropists, corporate executives, and cultural figures. Under the stage's golden glow, Marcus completed his final checks, making certain every detail was flawless for the distinguished attendees, expected within 60 minutes, while tiding around the magnificent concert grand piano positioned at stage center. Marcus couldn't resist pausing to admire the stunning instrument. The Steinway's glossy ebony finish caught the lighting like polished glass, and Marcus experienced that old, familiar yearning he'd trained himself to push down through the years. "Almost done over there, Marcus?" came the voice of James Wellington, the 52-year-old Wellington Industries CEO and Thornfield Foundation Board Chairman. Wellington cut an impressive figure in his perfectly fitted evening tuxedo, moving with the self-assured presence of someone used to dominating every space he occupies. "Nearly finished." "Mr. Wellington," Marcus answered, moving away from the piano. "Tonight's show should be all set." Wellington walked toward the platform, glancing at his expensive gold timepiece with the casual efficiency of someone whose minutes are worth fortunes. "Perfect timing. Our maestro will arrive soon for his technical rehearsal." While they spoke, additional board members and prominent donors started trickling into the venue for the pre-gala cocktail hour. Marcus knew most of them from his time at Thornfield Industry powerhouses, acclaimed performers, high society personalities whose names frequently graced the newspaper's business and arts pages. "Tell me something." "Marcus," Wellington said, a playful note creeping into his tone as he motioned toward the piano. "I've often wondered whether our team members possess any secret musical abilities. Can you play this thing at all?" Marcus felt warmth rise in his face at the inquiry. "A bit, sir. Just amateur level." Wellington's expression showed surprise. "Is that so? What sort of music are we talking about?" Before Marcus could respond, Wellington had pivoted to face the expanding group of elegantly attired guests. "Everyone, may I have your attention?" he announced, his words carrying effortlessly through the hall's acoustically engineered space. "I've just learned that Marcus here, our custodian, apparently has some piano experience. How about we enjoy a preview performance before tonight's main attraction?" Curious, amused whispers spread through the audience. Marcus felt his insides tighten as he understood Wellington's intentions. This was novelty entertainment, a little diversion to entertain the elite before the legitimate concert started. "Mr. Wellington," Marcus said softly, "I don't believe that's appropriate. I'm on the clock as staff, not as a performer." "Come now," Wellington countered, clearly amused by what he considered harmless entertainment. "It's a celebration, after all. Everyone can contribute something. Plus, when do we ever get the opportunity to hear what our maintenance workers can accomplish with a $2 million instrument?" The audience chuckled at Wellington's remark, and Marcus noticed several people already retrieving their phones to capture what they anticipated would be an entertaining moment. Blue-collar worker fumbling through classical music for an audience of refined connoisseurs. Marcus scanned the crowd of expectant faces, many displaying expressions of patronizing curiosity, and felt something change within him. These individuals viewed him as an oddity, amusing content for their next social gathering. They were completely unaware of his true identity or the sacrifices he'd made to stand here wearing this uniform. "What should I perform?" Marcus asked, his tone calm despite his pounding heart. Wellington beamed and made a sweeping gesture toward the instrument. Dealer's choice. Give us something that'll wow this sophisticated audience. Marcus approached the piano bench with measured steps, still gripping his cleaning rag. He placed it deliberately to the side and seated himself, adjusting the bench height with motions that came naturally after years of training. His fingers settled into their accustomed position over the ivory keys, and briefly, Marcus let himself recall who he'd been before circumstances forced him to prioritize fatherhood over aspirations. Marcus launched into Chopin's Nocturne in the flat major, Opus 9. Number 2, the opening notes drifted through the concert space with such crystalline beauty that the room's energy instantly shifted from mocking curiosity to something resembling awe. Marcus' fingers glided across the keyboard with the effortless precision of someone who dedicated endless hours to mastering technique, revealing every subtle layer of Chopin's intricate and emotionally rich composition. As the performance unfolded, complete silence descended over the crowd. Their condescending smirks dissolved, replaced by authentic astonishment and deepening respect. This wasn't some custodian fumbling through a basic melody. This was a skilled musician interpreting one of classical music's most cherished pieces with professional expertise and profound emotional depth. Marcus disappeared into the music, experiencing the joy of creative expression he'd suppressed for so long. This was his true self beneath the work uniform. A conservatory-trained pianist who'd abandoned his performance career to create stability for his daughter, following his wife's death in a traffic accident 4 years prior. Wellington stood mesmerized, observing Marcus' hands sweep across the keys with proficiency that clearly indicated serious formal training, not casual hobby playing. The CEO's demeanor had transformed from patronizing amusement to something closer to wonder as he recognized he was experiencing something exceptional. When Marcus completed the nocturne, profound silence enveloped the hall. For several heartbeats, nobody stirred or uttered a sound, as though any noise might shatter the enchantment the music had created. Then Wellington began clapping tentatively at first, then with growing fervor. The remaining guests joined in, their applause escalating to a standing ovation that resonated throughout the concert space with sincere appreciation rather than courteous formality. Marcus rose from the bench, his expression flushed with the emotion of publicly sharing his talent for the first time in years. He looked across the assembly of wealthy, influential individuals who were now perceiving him as something beyond invisible help. "Marcus," Wellington said, stepping toward the platform with newfound reverence in his features. "That was truly remarkable. Where did you receive that kind of training?" "I'm a New England Conservatory graduate from 12 years back," Marcus answered quietly. "I was developing a performance career when my wife passed away and I became Emma's sole parent. I required dependable income and predictable scheduling. So I accepted this position to ensure I could support my daughter." Understanding and compassionate murmurs rippled through the audience as they absorbed his story. These were individuals familiar with sacrifice and tough decisions, though most of their sacrifices involved corporate choices rather than selecting between ambitions and parental duties. "Marcus," Wellington pressed on, "I must ask, why haven't you ever shared your musical credentials? We organize countless events here annually that could utilize someone with your abilities." Marcus surveyed the audience of impeccably dressed philanthropists and executives, then returned his gaze to Wellington. "Mr. Wellington, when you're raising a young child on maintenance wages, you focus on job security rather than requesting preferential treatment. I never wanted anyone questioning my commitment to my responsibilities here." Wellington nodded thoughtfully, clearly contemplating the weight of Marcus' words. "Marcus, would you consider playing another selection? Your personal choice this time?" Marcus pondered the invitation, then returned to the piano. This round he performed Bach's air on the G string, a melody that served as his daughter Emma's beloved lullaby during her early years. As the achingly beautiful tune permeated the concert hall, Marcus thought of Emma, currently spending the evening with their neighbor Mrs. Patterson, likely completing schoolwork and eagerly awaiting stories about Daddy's shift. When he returned home, the music appeared to reach something profound in everyone present. Wellington found himself reflecting on his own children, now adults with successful careers, yet somehow emotionally distant from the father who'd worked tirelessly to provide opportunities. Other attendees brushed away tears as they remembered their own families and the sacrifices love occasionally demands. When Marcus concluded Bach's piece, Wellington stepped onto the platform and addressed the gathering. "Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've just experienced something truly special. We assembled here tonight to champion the arts and honor musical brilliance. And we've learned that one of our city's most gifted musicians has been working alongside us, unnoticed, for 2 years." Wellington faced Marcus. "Marcus, I'd like to extend an opportunity. The Thornfield Foundation is ready to create a comprehensive scholarship program that will enable you to resume performing while securing financial stability for both you and your daughter. We want to empower artists like yourself, not force them to choose between their calling and their families." Tears welled in Marcus' eyes as he grasped what Wellington was proposing, the opportunity to reclaim the career he cherished without compromising his ability to care for Emma. "Mr. Wellington, that's extraordinarily kind, but I must clarify, what about my daughter?" She comes first always, and any arrangement would need to accommodate my responsibilities as her father. Marcus. Any parent willing to abandon their dreams for their child's welfare is precisely the person we want to invest in. We'll arrange a schedule that prioritizes your daughter while letting your gift shine. 6 months forward. Marcus was performing consistently with the City Symphony Orchestra and presenting solo concerts at Thornfield Hall. Emma attended numerous performances, occupying front row seats with a beaming expression as she watched her father share his artistry with audiences. The maintenance uniform had been exchanged for performance attire. Though Marcus never lost sight of that evening's lesson, genuine value isn't measured by professional titles or social standing, but by the devotion we demonstrate toward family, and the bravery we summon to reveal our authentic selves to others. Wellington preserved a photograph from that transformative evening in his office. Marcus at the piano in his olive green uniform, serving as a reminder that the most remarkable individuals often hide in plain view, awaiting someone to look beyond appearances and recognize the extraordinary gifts underneath. And Emma, now 7, enthusiastically tells anyone willing to hear that her daddy is the greatest piano player on earth, not because he performs in prestigious venues, but because he sacrificed everything to care for her, then discovered a path to pursue his passion without ever failing her.